Mm. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so how's everybody doing? Thank you very much for taking some time to speak with us today with me. How's everybody?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you so much. I'm super, super excited. I think at this point, we all heard that, oh, I just grew up watching Mercado and staying quiet, whatever. So because of that connection that we all share with Walter, we decided to do this interview a little bit different. So we asked our readers to submit also their questions because we want them to be part of this. So some of the questions that I'm going to be reading are going to be also from our BELatina fans. So I'm going to let you all know which question belongs to who. Is that okay?
Yeah. Sure. Great.
Perfect. So as I said at the beginning, Walter Mercado was able to connect with the audience to some extent that we all share the same experiences, we all share the same memories, we all basically learned not only to manifest and be positive, but also to stay quiet and in silence when Walter came to the TV. I think that's something that everybody can agree on. So the very first question comes from user Hablemos de Serie and Woman Awakening, and they would like to know, when did you all realize the importance of bringing the life of Walter Mercado to the TV?
Well,
You go.
I can. So I think the three of us kind of have the same story. We all grew up watching Walter. We all loved Walter as kids. We all were shushed by our abuelitas. And I think as adults, we started to realize just how much he meant to us during that time, but kind of how ahead of his time he was. And I think we were able to contextualize just how radical it was to do what he was doing when he was doing it. And I think our respect and love for him only grew in different ways once we realized the, kind of homophobic, machista world that he was doing that all in. And yeah, for us, I think he's like our Oprah. He's like our, Mr. Rogers, but he looks like Liberace and Big Bird combined. So we thought it would be a very fun story to tell. And then we realized that he had somehow disappeared from the public eye, which is kind of hard to believe that a character that's so big and fabulous can just disappear like that. So the three of us all kind of decided independently to try to look for him. And in the process of looking for him, I think we found each other. So it was kind of cosmic. And Alex Fumero brought us together. And we're so grateful. Yeah, we're so grateful that we're all teamed up. And it was I think, a cosmic event.
Great. Alex, I would like to ask you, this documentary, I personally think it's like a roller coaster of emotions. Like at the beginning, you can smile because you can see him again. When the documentary starts, spoiler alert, when he started like dancing, you laugh a little, and then you feel anger because you see that someone betrays him, and then comes sadness, and I cried like the very last 27 minutes of the whole documentary. I was just crying when he the part of the museum. So I would like to know, that was intentional that we feel so many emotions, or that was something completely unexpected?
I mean, I think it was intentional in the sense that we were also experiencing roller coasters of emotion, like throughout, I think that's just the truth of Walter's story, is it's like really high highs and really low lows. And he's such a special person that he makes you empathize with him immediately. And so when we were making it, we were having a lot of the same experiences. It was like, oh my God, this is like being around Santa Claus. This is the most charming man in the world. And then you find out bad things that happen to him, and you're like, this is outrageous. Like, I can't believe it. And then his health gets, not great, and that affects you, So I think the film is kind of like it's also a reflection of our experience making it, and of Walter's life.
Correct. So Kareem, I'm going to read you the next question from one of our readers, and it's from user Giselle Gomez, and she's asking, what impacted you all the most about the legendary Walter Mercado? Let's start with you, Kareem, and then we can go with Cristina and then Alex.
Sure. I think spending 2 years with him every moment was impactful in a way or another, because he was this childhood hero for us, that he came alive and who became our friend and an extended part of our family, and like our tío abuelo / fabulous tía. But I think that probably, the thing that remained the most with me was just Walter's positive outlook on life. And, there's a moment in the film where he talks about heaven, and he says, I'm living the life that I want to live with the people I love. What other heaven can I have? Heaven is here and heaven is now. And that's such a touching moment for me, because it just kind of just reminds us, like, make the most of your every day of your life. Like, don't be expecting the greater reward tomorrow. Today is the reward, and surround yourself with people who you love and who love you, and give love by leaps and bounds. And I think that that's the greatest lasting lesson that I walked away with from our time with Walter.
Great. And what about you, Cristina?
I would say another lesson that Walter, I think, has been teaching us since we were little. His mom taught him that, he said to him, like, go on being different, being normal, being like everybody else is not a good thing. And I think, that's a lesson that am trying to teach myself, which is like, it's okay to be outside the box. It's okay to, like, not everyone has to love you. And, but you can be kooky and weird, and that can be good. And so that's a hard lesson to learn, is that you can, you don't have to fit into other people's really narrow definition of what you should of behavior or how you should dress, and life is more fun when you let those rules fall away.
Correct. And you, Alex?
I would just say, don't worry so much what people think. That's Walter really did not care. He took the I don't care pill, and I think that's a good lesson for all of us, is just be yourself and you'll be happy. Perfect.
So, Cristina, you mentioned Walter's mom, and I would like to talk a little bit of his family. And even though his mom is not around anymore, I believe you all were able to spend quite some time with his nieces and also with Willie. Can you please tell me their reaction when they saw the whole documentary?
Yeah, the first time they saw the documentary, they watched it in Puerto Rico, and they loved it. And then we all got to watch it with them in Sundance in Park City. They flew up in January, and that was a very emotional experience. It was just a few months after Walter had passed, and I think everyone was still in mourning, and this film memorialized him and celebrated him. But I also think we showed a version of Walter that they remember, that they knew the Walter that we showed. Everyone knows Walter on television, but I think for them it was especially significant to have something to remember him by that was really, like, him in his home, him with his dog, him having breakfast, doing the things that he does. So I think they love the film, and I think it's very special that we've been able to spend this time with them and celebrate it and celebrate his life with them.
Great. So Kareem, I would like to read you the next question from one of our readers, and her user is Tati Diana, and she would like to know if you can mention one thing in one word. What do you admire the most from Walter? Like, if you could describe him in one word, what would be?
Courage.
Courage. And what about you, Alex? Or Cristina?
Fabulous.
I thought you took mine. Okay, I would say love.
Great.